Afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me at the back? No? Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're well fed and watered and ready for another session of really great learning. This afternoon, we're privileged to have Dr. Prasanna Gandhi speaking to us. Dr. Prasanna Gandhi is a professor in mechanical engineering and is also director of the Suman, and I'm going to say this wrong, I'm sorry. I was trying to practice. Mashruwala Advanced Microengineering Laboratory at IIT, Bombay. Prasanna received his MTech degree from IIT Bombay and his PhD in mechanical engineering from Rice University. Among other honours, he is the recipient of the Boys Caste Fellowship 2006 of the Government of India, Professor I.R. Isaac Fellowship 2006 to 2007, and Best Faculty Award 2008. He set up the Suman Mashruwala Microengineering Laboratory for research with a startup grant of 1 million. And the current research focuses on the area of polymer and ceramics, 3D microprinting and media robotics. What I was thinking as I was reading that out was the polymer reference that the Trade Commissioner from Australia made in the last session. Welcome, Prasanna, to the podium. Can we give him a big clap, please?
Thank you very much for this kind introduction. I'm going to give some of my perspectives, but I would like to have this session more like a question and answer, what you are looking for. I would rather be interested and address some of those kind of points from whatever inside IIT kind of perspective. But before that, I'll just kind of get started with some of the views on what intake profile typically we would look for, and then I'll give you some directions in which our students in future pursue what direction they pursue. Although it's very surprising to see that although they start off with the technical kind of a background career, they end up actually in completely different lines many times actually. When you as a mediator for the students, grooming students for their career path, can give them this kind of a perspective that okay, what are you really interested in? So it can be very important at this stage to find out what their real interests are and pursue that kind of a line rather than getting all 5 years of drill in the technology and ending up in the finance company. Okay, yeah. So I'll give you some numbers also towards the end, the fresh out of the one kind of a numbers. This year's placements, how our students are placed in this year. So you'll get some kind of idea about what future career paths the students typically follow. So some of the things this all of you might be pretty much well aware that okay, there are admissions through pathways to admission are through these different exams that IIT or the IIT system conducts. Okay, so JEE is probably the most most people would be more interested in because you are looking for students to go after their 12th standard. So and then there are these other avenues, GATE, JAM, SEED. These are also there is this year we have started this UG design program. So there is another exam for that is being conducted, the UG version of the SEED exam, okay, for design kind of a thing. So that probably may not be well, they say their IIT website, but may not be well known in the community probably. At JEE level, so I'm going to talk about little bit see that kind of training that is required for the JEE, I'm not I'm not going to get into the details about that. But what we look for when the student comes in, and what shapes their career, what kind of a student would kind of succeed in the IIT system as a whole, and so that is what I'm going to kind of focus more about. So and then even after they become bachelors, in some universities they take a degree from there, and then they wish to come back to IIT system. They have this gate and other kind of a pathways to come. Now so not so well known kind of a paths are also there. They are mainly beyond bachelor's program. Okay, once they finish their bachelor's program, they can come to IIT system as a RA or project staff, and then get registered or get recommended for a MTech program. Okay, that's more like a 3-year kind of a MTech rather than 2-year MTech program, which is normally once you take a GATE exam, you get you'll get into a 2-year kind of a MTech program. But this RA students, okay, they might not have succeeded so well in the GATE. They have quite low GATE score, but still as a project staff, they are eligible to be recommended for a master's degree. And once they are recommended, then they go through this 3-year kind of a master's program. They work parallelly on the project. So this is good kind of a combination of their hands-on experience learning, as well as getting the master's degree side by side. And PhD, of course, joint opportunity. So there are joint PhD opportunities with a lot of other universities. That may not be well known again. That we have IIT Bombay Monash Academy, in which the students spend some time at IIT Bombay, some time at Monash University in Australia, and then they get a joint degree. Okay, this degree actually mentions both universities together. They give this degree. Like that, we have some programs with Singapore, and other universities. So these are not so well known kind of intake ways. And the typical profile that we look for is the well aware kind of a fact about that is analytical skills. Okay, very good analytical skills is what we look for. Reasoning ability, analytical skills, and things, and that too. That's a this kind of a ability of students is ensured by our admission system. Okay, the JEE admissions they ensure that the students have good analytical ability, and also the application orientation towards to some kind of a real life situations. Okay, not only just the ability to crack mathematics fast, or not that kind of a stuff, but more like a application oriented stuff. So that is what we look for, as a very primary kind of a one of the most important things. But I must tell you that this is the only thing that may get tested in the admission exam. But there are a lot of other qualities that are important to have so to say successful kind of a path, or easy kind of a going path, and build up your career at IIT. Okay, so I'll list out some of those actually from my own perspective. So what other thing we look for is multifaceted personality, not just in one bookish kind of a thing. Okay, so we also give good importance to the balanced personality in the other aspects like sports, then whatever other activities other than academics, that multifaceted personality, and we believe that that kind of makes very good individual as a whole, not just bookish. No. No. See, yeah, people. See, yeah. See, I appreciate your. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that, because it's a probably somewhat. I would say misconception, probably, maybe, but.
Because your entry totally depends on your entrance, and that's it.
I agree.
Because recently this news of a girl getting into MIT and not getting into IIT, and
Yeah, I agree.
Likewise, we feel why
Hmm.
I'm saying I feel the pain because I have a child who's scoring 42 in IB with 7 in math HL and 7 in physics HL, which you don't recognize.
Yeah.
That's a pain.
I completely agree. It's a system issue actually.
And
So
if you say that the curriculum makes a child multifaceted, so the child is already multifaceted, but you are not ready to recognize.
no. So I told you, no. This is
I'm
this is
sorry.
this is only thing. See, this is the only thing the entrance exams recognize. That's I'm making myself. I understand. I completely agree with you. I mean, because
We change that.
yeah, I mean, it's a whole system has to change, na. So it'll change maybe sometime. Like, no, we have this in mind. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that, because see, it's not like, no, see, MIT is just one school. Okay, they can take their own decision. We cannot take the decision for the entire system. That's the problem, like, if it had to come.
It changes the pattern of intake. We can retain our wonderful students
Back in. This like, there are a lot of cases I know about, like, yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate point. I mean, it's well taken. No problem. But see, I'm saying now, like, once the student comes in, like, that then other kind of qualities which we cannot test, okay, which we right now are not testing, but they are important for their. That's what I'm kind of trying to highlight actually here. Okay, then high standards of ethics. Okay, this is very important other factor. Like, in the competitive world, students tend to lose their ethics. Okay, so in IIT we, like, look for, like, this ethical qualities a lot, and I mean, there are cases where, like, we see that, okay, these good ethics people, we see them succeed in the long way, very good kind of careers, career paths they have. Then the creative thinking. Okay, this again cannot be tested, but, like, this is one thing which is very important. And then there are some lighter side. Okay, now this is like what we observe this in the students. So, and, like, so don't take it otherwise. Okay. So one of the things is, like, so they hardly, like.
IB student has got all these things in their profile.
Is that so?
Will not be taking the JEE exam.
Yeah. See, I'm just putting up my perspective. I'm not talking for the system right now. Okay, so.
We can only if educators at IIT feel that yes, this course has potential and these children really don't need to get into JEE or something of that sort. So what I mean here is, like, for IIMs, children do give CAT, but every IIM has their own way or the ladder of marking and getting in. So there is one IIM who actually doesn't give importance to CAT score at all. And they give importance to their previous academic scores. Academic score is still there, of course, and this one. And why I can say this with confidence, because my son just cleared it, and so the thing is something of that sort. Okay, JEE is there, keep it as a. But then that's not the only way of measuring the students. This thing is what I'm saying. This is they agree. No, this is they agree. Then we can lobby and
Look. See. Although, like, many individuals may agree, there are some system-related issues also. Okay, so the system. It'll take time. See, till the time maybe we may lose some of the talent, but, like, because see, this all, as you know, like, to be fair, like, all IIT admissions happen at the same same time, right? Like, it's a universe, like, one kind of a system in which, like, all IITs are getting, like, admission in the after JE, and there are some system related issues that may pop up, that one has to think about, and, like, one has to see, okay, there is no unfairness done to any students. Those are kind of issues that we may get. Yeah, I know, like, it's a foolproof right now we have made that, but see, when we open some of these, those kind of things may get questioned.
We are
And then,
reaching out to more students by spreading their wings to two-tier cities also. It's
Right,
growing
right,
in numbers.
right.
More opportunities.
yeah.
But I'm new to this system.
Sure.
But my question is, I think there's a problem with this. I think, what is it? I think the issue is timing. Like, I don't think there's a problem for IB kids. They have to go and do the SAT to go into, for this, or they have to do this ACT or whatever else. If there's another test, correct me if I'm wrong, but the test with the for the JEE is at the same time the IB exams are on.
That is just one aspect, but SAT is a skill-based test.
Yeah.
While as this does require different content also is different.
So it's a different study program to the
Yes.
IB, HL
Even
Physics, HL Maths.
No,
So it's a totally different ballgame altogether. IP is
So it's not as if I can say as simple as SAT.
It's not
It
simple
does-
at all.
No, but
Not
if
at all.
if you're
Not at
doing
all.
HL
Yeah,
Math
but
and
it
HL
tests
Physics,
different
are you
aspects
prepared for
of
the
all of
JEE?
it.
No.
Okay, well then that's why they can't.
Altogether, the problem that is really happening with CBSE, I would say, is that these children are more bent upon taking these FITG and all these classes, and they're not really focusing in the school, and they're not focused in their own classroom. So that's the biggest drawback.
We are really sorry. We know that you can't actually give the
No, I
answer to this,
appreciate your.
but it just a burst of.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so
Let him continue.
let's just move on and like see. Okay, then see this other aspect, like the stress we find a lot of students getting, like developing. See, they come from the background where they are like excelling all the time, and like when all such people come together, somebody has to kind of be taking a back seat, right? So not everybody can have first rank, right? So then when that happens, then they get collapsed. I mean, there's some of those, like they cannot take this little failure, whatever you may call it. So there, like they need this kind of a more kind of a.
Parents are to be blamed, not
Of
the
course,
children.
of course.
The children mindset.
You
Yeah.
still have a quota system, right?
Quota system means?
Handicap quota.
Yeah, everything.
You have the
We
reservations.
have, of course.
I think, would it be a good idea if he
So-
finishes his presentation?
He said that you keep on asking us.
I think
No,
that
no.
will be better. Let
Yeah.
him finish first.
No, it's okay.
Okay, sorry.
So it's okay, no problem. So I mean, this aspect of meditation, that will also help students to those skills are already inculcated in some students to begin with. That will help immensely for them to kind of overcome some of these. These are local barriers, I would say. I mean, at that point they have some kind of a thing, but then slowly they'll pick up. They are bright anyway, so they'll pick up after some time. But what happens actually we see is that they just get kind of reversed. They kind of get disinterested in studies, and then they go in some different direction. So that aspect, I think, I mean, if you can tell them ahead of time, that we can prevent such kind of happenings. Okay, now I'll just go to the other extreme, when they go out now, what are the statistics? Okay, so we have a placement cell in which the students have to register for placement. Okay, it's not all students will register. So those who, especially those who are going abroad, they don't register for this cell. Okay, so and then those who register, some of them they may register also, and then they may change their mind and then say, okay, I don't want to kind of get into this, but I'll on my own do something. okay, or like find some other opportunity, okay, or some students who are planning to go abroad for higher studies, they just sit in the placement cell also just for the sake of like having secured. So I mean, if you don't get that position, then like that kind of a thing. So that's why this like you see this 80% of the students who are registered would actually get placed. Actually, it doesn't mean that the other students are not getting the job. That's why I just want to kind of clarify that. So you see here, like the analytics sector. So these are like sector-wise kind of a distribution. So actually, the technology out of like 1143 students last year who were placed, 371, okay, were into like 30% of the students are into actually core engineering and technology kind of jobs, okay. And you can see like the next highest is IT, okay, and there are like a lot of students to go into finance and analytics kind of jobs, okay. So we don't train them to finance and analytics, by the way, but I mean they themselves like do pick up some of the skills and like they fulfill some of the whatever degree requirements at IIT Bombay, and like they opt to get into this. One of my students, I remember like he was like my dual degree. I mean, the dual degree project he did with me, and he was extremely good at computational abilities. And once he had an accident. Then I asked, oh, what happened? Like, why you got into this accident? He mentioned, like, there was a bike. He was on the bike, and like there was a bike in front of him, and he was trying to multiply the 4 numbers of bike in the fastest way possible. In his mind, that was going on, and like, so those kind of like, some kind of I would say hatke students are there, like, So those are, so you see, and then like, he was studying on himself, like, and he's now in Futures First. Okay, he's one of the leading companies in the derivative trading actually, and in the first year itself, like when he joined that company, he made there's this futures, these derivative companies, they offer you a bonus based on what you have profit you have made to the company, and he got like 1.5 times of his yearly salary as a bonus in the first year. So I mean, so students are like different kinds of like career paths they would take in the future. Although like they join in as a technology kind of a thing. But I mean, I would say like if he had been in the IIM's kind of a school or like in core that may have helped him better in shaping up his skills, rather than getting like getting into technical. He cleared all his. I mean, that's not a problem in his career path. But it's like you are doing both things, okay, where your interest lie in something else, but for the completion of the degree, you are doing something else, okay. So I mean, if you can avoid such situations, it's better actually. I think so that you can focus your energy into one aspect. So this is like the distribution in the BTechs actually. So focus mainly in the BTech and dual degree kind of programs. So these are some of the numbers. So so actually the sector wise these numbers, okay. So these are kind of offers that they get, okay. So I mean most of this above 11 kind of gross salary number, they will be in the analytics and those kind of companies, finance companies, okay. And so that's where like the choices also get kind of driven by these numbers. People, I mean, whatever their aspirations are, but like they just try like they don't kind of the students like they just follow the trend, whatever is going on. They just don't think for themselves like, okay, what is a like good thing for us, for me as a person to do, rather than okay, if somebody is doing that, I should just follow that. That kind of attitude is there. So I don't know how to break that, but like there are very few who like break that and like they really do what they really like to do. But most of the students, I see that they are following the trend and just going. I mean, because he has got highest marks, he'll just go for highest paying job. Whether he is interested or not interested is not so worried about. So that is a kind of a mindset that they carry. Although later in life, they realize that that they then I've seen a lot of cases where students have joined Deutsche Bank kind of a company, and then within a year they got bored of their job, and then they just left it. One of my students here, she was Sudoku champion actually. She represented India for the Sudoku championship in Prague, I think. And she got into Deutsche Bank, and 1 year, 1.5 years at most, she continued, and then she left. She then got into again core engineering kind of jobs. So then some of the other students, they had still continued the same trend, but so that also kind of happens actually. Then this is BTech students there are 27% who go into 23% who go into engineering and technology jobs. Okay, so out of 100 only 23 students would go in core engineering and technology kind of sector, and then there is a fair amount of percentage for consulting. Yeah. Consulting, and then next is finance. So that's a kind of I don't have the statistics, but the number of students who are actually going abroad for higher education are not so high. It's maybe about 5 to 10% kind of a thing, not very high actually. So although through some of these companies they might be placed abroad, that's not a issue, but going for higher studies, those numbers are not so high. Okay. Then this is for the dual degree students, which follows some mostly the same trend, similar kind of a trend. Whether BTech or dual degree, it's not making much of a difference here. But MTechs, it's a very different story. Actually, the students who have done bachelor's and they come in IIT for masters, then we see a lot of them get into the technology and engineering kind of jobs. Okay, so that is some of the kind of statistics that I wanted to show. Maybe we can discuss if at all you have any other kind of issues too. Okay, yeah. No. It's just for IIT Bombay. Just for IIT Bombay. Yeah. I cannot speak for other IITs. Yeah.
Because there have been news coming up, especially on some surveys on the part of the employers who say that IITs are not able to maintain that quality of graduates as that used to be. And they are now more keen on having students from NITs and other institutes. What has caused the downfall in the quality?
Look, I mean, if you're talking across, then look, I mean, if you just ask IIT Bombay, my experience, I see definitely there is a degradation of the quality of the incoming students. Okay, that's what I would say. That the kind of students I was to guide and get and in the class interact. So no, because of the
Elite people are in IB, so that I think they get that part of the society is going abroad for education.
Maybe. Yeah. Look, so I mean, I see. I don't know. I'm not done really this study about why this is happening. But I'm just telling my experience. Okay, the kind of students I had guided in my first early kind of 5 years of my career, from 2005 to 2006 or 2001 to about 2006-07. really good class quality. I mean, I could see that difference, But now, we see that.
In that time, if I can just say, now there is a lot of awareness about other branches.
Mm.
In those, 2005, there is still, genius students would want to go to IIT or maybe medicine. But now there are people, I have seen students who do normal BCom because they want to get into IIM or
Yeah.
such things later.
Yeah,
So instead of doing IIT, IIM,
Yeah.
people are now moving to BA, BCom
But-
and IIM.
yeah,
So there
but-
is a reason, so there is a division.
Maybe that, but maybe like one of my kind of hypothesis was like maybe it's the effect of coaching.
Possibly, yes.
Okay, like the coaching, you see, when you are coaching a student for IIT, they don't care about whether the student understands and does something. Okay, they just like give some kind of a rules or some elimination kind of a things, which they use it and they score. But that doesn't mean that the student is really of that quality. So, on an average in the class, I still find top 15% of this class is really, extraordinary kind of a quality talent we see. But other part is not so well actually. So.
Don't we think we should change the pattern of entrance or something?
Yeah, there's some.
No, that's what I said.
That's happening. But it's a slow process. We have to kind of think of not just us, but all other IITs and considering together, taking their consent on board and everything needs to be done.
That is perfectly all right. What I'm saying is, you as it is have a reservation. As I said, I'm just putting it forth because
Yeah.
there is a forum. You as it is have reservation. Then why not reservation for differently intelligent children who don't do JEE? Fine. That's the point.
Yeah. Question.
Then I don't know whether you're the right person to ask,
Yeah.
but at the beginning, in one of your slides, you had some sort of connection between IIM and IIT and Monash University.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, can you speak further about
Sure.
the connection between those?
Sure. So this IIT Bombay and so by the way, IIT has a lot of MOUs with a lot of universities, not just Monash. Okay, Monash is just one example I gave, but Purdue, there are many other kind of universities which we have MOU with. Okay, so now with Monash, because one of my three students were with Monash and this program IIT Bombay program together. So there, what we have is we have different process for intake of those. This is for PhD students largely right now. Okay, but there these PhD students, they get registered for this joint program. Then they have a supervisor from IIT Bombay, one supervisor from Monash also, and then he spends he or she they spend about most of the time in IIT Bombay, but 6 months to 1 year, or maybe extend beyond that depending upon the requirement, they spend at a Monash. Okay, so it's a joint program. Yeah. Joint PhD program. And now other MOUs that we have with other universities, what happens is some of our students, they go for they go for 1 semester to other university, and then there are about 5-6 courses that they're supposed to take in that semester if they have been in IIT Bombay. So similar kind of a courses they take in those university, and we approve those courses as a valid courses for our system, and we give them degree. So there's an exchange program that students.
Transfer in from a degree, a bachelor's from somewhere else, and then come and do your master's at IIT?
Yeah, that also possible. That's not a problem.
So if you're going to get into your master's program, what do you need to do to get into your master's program?
So
Whether that's an easier option for
Yeah, so master's program is easier option than JEE program. That's definitely there. So this master's program, they have to go through this JEE. Yeah, not JEE, sorry, GATE exam. This is Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. Okay, so that is a test that they have to give, and then they can come into this
You
program.
also offer a certificate program, 1 year.
certificate programs, there are many certificate programs. So say for example, like industry people, okay, they can take some of our courses which are running in the slots, maybe which they can join, and they can accumulate that courses for over the maybe 4 or 5 years. And once they like the number of courses they finish are sufficient for the degree, then they can be given a that kind of a.
One of my students,
Hmm.
she had done her bachelor's in pharmacy.
Right.
Then 1 year she did some program with IIT.
Hmm.
She got a placement in US.
Hmm,
That's
hmm,
how it worked for her.
Hmm.
1 year certificate program she
Hmm.
did with Mumbai IIT after her bachelor's in pharmacy.
Hmm.
So
But yeah.
getting back to what I was asking,
Hmm.
it's about, so I could have a student from my school, which
Right.
and they're doing the IB.
Hmm.
I could say, go to Monash University
Hmm.
and do your undergrad at Monash University, and then apply to do the GATE exam, and you can either do your masters at Monash if you wanted to, or if
Come
you
back
do
to-
score well on the GATE exam, you can do your masters at the IIT.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So that will not be
Yeah.
from Monash University also.
Sorry?
It can be
Yeah.
from any
Yeah. Any university.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
thinking Monash because there's an Australian.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great place to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That model is a very good pathway for lots of students to do an undergrad at somewhere and then go into their masters, because the currency has lifted to a master's program generally for many, many students, and India definitely, I would suggest, for higher education.
Yeah. Question. Huh. Yeah. Right. Right. Hmm. Oh. Yeah. See, this jam is equivalent to if you, after your BSc or that kind of a the bachelor's degree, you can write a jam exam, not engineering, science kind of a bachelor's. Okay, then you can write this jam exam. CET is for the students who are architects kind of background and design kind of background. This CET exam is common entrance exam in design.
Or
Okay.
you have also mentioned that they can join a project.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
get
So
nominated
yeah, so these are that is not known kind of a way. Yeah.
Some of the IITs also offer a 5-year integrated course in economics.
Yeah.
That is basically without any entrance, depending on your results, and then an interview follows.
That I'm not aware. I mean, yeah, maybe that I'm not aware. But typically any IIT system, I mean, they would have some entrance. That's what my gut feel would be. I don't know. It cannot be
scores, then they still do that
jam. Yeah. No. Yeah. Acha. Yeah, I'm not aware. New question. Oh, you see it. Acha, that you just visit a website and I'm not mechanical engineering. I don't follow that. Yeah. There is so this changes no. I will not be able to. I don't follow this. I mean, I'm on the other side now. I don't hardly get any time to kind of get into these. Unless unless I see. So in 2013 I was a chairman for the GATE exam. That time I would know in and out of that year whatever things. So I was in fact we are organizing chairman. That means see what we do is there are 8 institutes organize this GATE exam together and cater to about 12 lakh students who are appearing for this exam. Okay, and so that the one of the institutes will be organizing institute, and they'll have a responsibility of taking major decisions for conducting that exam. So we are into that position in 2013. See, if I have done something of that sort, then I'll give you lot of details about the thing. But then you see it, yeah. As long as see, yeah. That's rare, yeah. So. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So, yeah, but websites, you like, no, the websites will be best way to kind of get yourself updated.
No, it's still that is still in the court of law. There's still the decision is not yet out.
So, yeah, you have to ask something, right? Yeah. Can we just take this question, please? Uh, okay, maybe, yeah.
If a student has done his computer science graduation from abroad, so what is it that the child can take up?
Oh, I
For the
mean,
entrance,
from abroad, he has done computer science.
computer science
And what he wants to do, what he wants to kind of get into the IT system, post graduation at IT system, na? So okay, you look. Gate exam is one thing, but like no, see, so see at some, I mean, if I don't recall now that like no, see, because we have not handled it in our department any kind of situations where people have like applied from abroad for masters. Okay, very few, like no, from Sri Lanka or from I think the students who are applying from abroad, the gate I think is a wave for them, if I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
You've done your graduation outside and you would like to
So.
carry on in one of the IITs. Does the gate for that?
No, no. Look, because I remember this student from South Africa. See, there his application directly came to us. See, GATE is just one part of the exam. Okay, as she was mentioning about like no that okay you don't give CAT may like they may not give importance to the CAT score like that in our department also we don't we consider GATE only up to 70% marks. Okay, beyond that, like no, the interview and our interest test is there that we consider. So now in the cases where like no, these students are applying from abroad, in their case, sometimes our HOD may take a call that okay, he need not apply for like no gate exam, but he's directly coming from the interview. Okay, and then his interview once he's clearing that interview process, na, then he can be admitted into master's program. That could be a possibility. Yeah, yeah. Okay, because yeah, that is a big problem.
it's not only a problem in IIT.
Hmm.
I know a lot of children
Uh,
abroad also
Yeah.
have been taking marks
Yeah.
from many
No,
countries.
see. Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Ragging taking place in that.
Hmm?
Lot of ragging taking place.
Right. No. Now IIT is completely out of ragging. Like no ragging at all. Completely. There's no. Yeah. In fact, it's like a little bit other way around. The first year, like people are scared of first year kids. Yeah.
First
They-
year kids drag the senior.
they even for some small interactions, they are kind of quite careful about. So yeah, that's good actually in a way.
So I'm
Yeah.
sure we look forward to IIT.
Yeah.
Maybe with time.
Yeah, we will change.
Because
See,
this, the subjects and the curriculum that we have in the school need to match what they'll be writing an entrance for. Otherwise, we do FITG and AG and OG, all these things are going to be.
The student under NCERT curriculum, preferably CBSE.
मैं तो CBSE हूँ।
फिर आपको जी में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती।
नहीं.
बहुत प्रॉब्लम है।
ठीक है, लेकिन you are the most capable candidate.
Yeah. Because
By NCERT, CBSE is also by
Hmm.
NCERT.
Still, I don't know why children are moving, rushing towards these FITG and all. So I'll talk about heritage. Last year, 2 children got into IIT without taking any such courses. And there are the Fiji and all
Okay.
that. So that is happening, but mostly
Yeah.
children are very...
Yeah. See, now this space and other institutes are there, no?
If I can interrupt, there's really obviously important dialogue to continue with, as I tried to earlier maybe mention, some of the IB recognition. That's something that would be really good if everyone lobbied. I know when we were looking at getting Australian recognition and different things, we wrote to the IB, we would go directly to them and get them to approach the universities to get some kind of more standardised approach. So the dialogue needs to keep going, and these questions do need to be asked and go to the right people. And it makes it really tricky. You know, on a personal note, I've enjoyed listening to the issues in India over the last 2 days, and my learning has just gone up such a lot. If I can share with you, and apologies to those that have already heard my story, but I have 4 sons, and my youngest son, I'm proud to say, has just graduated from MIT in Boston. And he has had a journey that's very much like what some of you have tried to describe. And with a career counsellor mother, he's completely self-directed, I have to say. He left a degree in New Zealand because he followed his heart, left a debt in New Zealand, and then went to Holland, where he went to the wrong place, then found the right place, and went into a fabulous type of university in Eindhoven in Holland, and then got an internship in Shanghai, where he met some professors and networked and got himself into different places, TAing in universities in America, and then went to MIT. So it's a real journey. And some of these journeys that our students are on are just really have to be different, and you have to go outside the box. But the kids will find a way, and if I think the universities are now recognising that kids are quite innovative in getting in by, I don't know what the etc. means, but I think that's a really important one to recognise, because my son certainly would not have got in if he'd had to make the benchmark. He did not excel at school at all, but he was incredibly creative. So, and that's one thing that I think you put in your slide at the start. So from an academics point of view, you would recognise that.
Definitely, I mean, I mean, there are some kind of loopholes, or I would say some kind of a drawbacks of our entrance system also. I mean, I agree, but we'll hopefully we'll keep improving. Yeah.
Still the IITs.
Yeah.
So sorry for my self-indulgence, but it is really interesting. I think these are issues around the world, how to get students in, and it's not just in India as well. It's in all other schools too. So it's becoming that person. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. And on behalf of the committee, I'd like to present you with this plaque.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Now it's the school, a break, and then the school fair. So a bit more networking, and then the last session. Thank you.